A U.S. naval officer who spent the last 2 years in prison in Japan is now back on U.S. soil. News specialist Erin Cox has followed his story from the beginning. She joins us live in the newsroom with this major update. Erin?
That's right, Deanie. It's been nearly 2.5 years since the accident. Lieutenant Alkonis was imprisoned in Japan in 2021, and his family has been fighting for his release ever since. Today was a huge victory in that process, but they're still waiting for his complete freedom.
I look up to him as a friend, as a husband, father.
A friendship of nearly 20 years has tied Andrew Eubanks to Ridge Alkonis. Both separately served Latter-day Saint missions in Japan and met when they joined Naval Academy in 2006.
There was no way when I found out what happened that I was going to not do anything.
Andrew has been at the front lines of efforts to bring Ridge home, something that was achieved in part Thursday. The Federal Bureau of Prisons confirms Lieutenant Ridge Alkonis is now an inmate in its detention center in Los Angeles.
He'll be at a federal processing facility while the Department of Justice goes through their protocol and process for determining what happens to him.
Lieutenant Alkonis could be released in weeks, or he could remain in prison for the rest of his 3-year sentence, which he served nearly half of in Japan. The Navy officer was imprisoned in October of 2021 after he was involved in a fatal crash while driving his family from Mount Fuji. His wife says he blacked out and veered off the road, killing 2 people.
In the United States, something like this would be chalked up to an accident, because that's what it was. We don't imprison people for things like that in the United States. In Japan, sometimes they do.
U.S. Senator Mike Lee visited Alkonis in Japan and has efforted his release. Alkonis' wife has rallied in front of the White House and at one point briefly spoke with President Biden. It's been nearly 18 months of pushing for his release.
This is not the end of his legal situation. It'll now be up to the U.S. Parole Commission.
With his return to the U.S., there's hope for new beginnings and friendships that can continue in person.
You have no idea how hard it is mentally and emotionally on the family when you're just separated from your loved one in an unjust manner.
Now, Senator Lee says Lieutenant Alkonis was brought back to the U.S. under a prisoner transfer treaty. The officer will meet with the U.S. Parole Commission, which will decide how much longer and where he will serve his sentence. Deanie, back to you.
Wow, what a journey for that family. Erin, thank you.